Well, my friends, welcome back to this Friday edition of Spot On. Some people are calling it the mini spot, spot off. I don't care what you call it. I'm just glad you're here on YouTube. So we had this topic earlier in the week. It was going viral online in certain corners of the internet because, as you guys know, the LGBTQIA R2D2 community, they love diversity. They want to preach about diversity all the time, as long as it's not diversity of thought. Okay, as long as you don't date a Republican or date someone who happens to be MAGA or a man in uniform. And that's what has happened with trans actress Laverne Cox. I believe she's from Orange is the New Black. She's been on some TV shows. She's a model, and we have to call her she because if we don't, YouTube's going to get mad at us. So Laverne Cox has gone viral and is really taking a lot of flack from her own people, the trans and gays and non-binaries who can't even make up their minds. She's getting a lot of flack from them because she came out and said that she was dating for several years a young, handsome MAGA NYPD officer. Let's take a look.
My ex-boyfriend, when we met 5 years ago at the height of the pandemic, he was 26, I was 48. He is blonde hair, blue-eyed, MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer. And we were madly in love and had 3.5 great years. Then things shifted.
So she is getting a ton of hate. How could you date a MAGA person? How could you date a Republican? Let me just tell you. This goes to my thesis with Dylan Mulvaney, Laverne Cox, even a lot of these liberals and the liberal gays, okay? They might protest in public and private. Most of them want a conservative, masculine man to take them and break their backs, okay? My mom's Bible study is watching, so I will choose my words carefully. But I don't care what people say. At the end of the day, a majority of them want a masculine, strong man who knows how to screw in a light bulb. So the MAGA NYPD officer with blonde hair and blue eyes sounds good to me. I believe it. I know some folks on my team, they're like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Sounds like a lie. Sounds like something for attention to stir it up. I don't know. But I think the overarching takeaway here is that if you come out and say you were even dating someone who is a Republican and serve their community, right? A police officer, men in uniform, you will get attacked by your own people. They turn on you fast, okay, because they love diversity, but they don't love diversity of thought. And so I think Laverne Cox is realizing this now once and for all, that maybe the LGBT brigade is a little bit of a cult in some ways, that if you speak up or you go against the grain, you get kicked out, you get eviscerated, you get ostracized, and that's what's happening. But I do think Dylan Mulvaney, a lot of trans people, a lot of gay people, a lot of these liberals in New York, okay, they want to go on social media and say they hate Republicans and they hate MAGA, but in private, there's nothing they want more than some MAGA Republican to come over and show them a good time. A man, okay, who knows how to crawl under the sink with a wrench and do whatever they do to fix the faucet, okay? That's what ladies really want. That's what the gays really want. Nobody wants a bunch of little beta male bitch boys who can't even define what a man is, okay? They want a man who knows what he's doing, and I'm not shocked at all that Laverne Cox wanted this MAGA, handsome NYPD officer, and I don't think the age gap is all that shocking too. I mean, it's 2025, people do what they want to do. It doesn't sound like that much to me. So we wish you well, Laverne Cox, but it's nice that you're realizing what I've realized and so many of my peers, that if you're gay, if you're supposed to be part of the LGBT community, we're all one big community, but the second you say something that goes against the curve, guess what? They're going to kick you out. So we have to also answer some questions. Now, you guys sent in so many questions the last time we did Ask Link. I didn't think it was fair to just leave them all in the dust. So I went back and pulled some for you. And also, please feel free in the comments to drop some questions you have. We're going to be doing Ask Link a lot more, but let me get to some of these questions. So this question actually came in like 30, 40 times. People said, what are you currently reading? What are you reading? My friends, I am reading the news. I have not read a book for pleasure or leisure in a long time. I was on a flight next to someone recently, and I'm on my phone keeping up with the news and looking on X and looking on social media and working on the show and working on this, doing emails. The person next to me on the flight is like, reading a book? Reading a book, I thought that would be nice. You know, my goal is I want to go on vacation when I turn 30. Okay, when I turn 30, I want to take a month off. It's a few years from now. In a few years when I turn 30, I want to take some time off, and I will maybe read some of these books that have been on my list since, you know, I was in high school. So I'm not really reading anything except the news. If that makes me uncultured, whatever, go cry me a river. This next question actually ties into the topic for today, unbeknownst to me when we picked it. Have you gotten any flack for being gay and speaking out against the Democrat Party? Absolutely. As I said, they love diversity. They always preach about diversity, but they don't love diversity of thought. Okay, if I say I don't want men and women's sports, I don't want underage kids to be transed or injected with cross-sex hormones, right? These aren't groundbreaking statements. These are common sense that a majority of people agree with. But the Democrat Party has been co-opted by this loud, vocal, progressive minority that has just abandoned common sense and gone so far left. They think it's fine for a guy to be in a woman's locker room and to beat up on girls on the volleyball court. It's disgusting. So of course I get flack, but I don't really care because if you can't take the heat, don't come into the kitchen. That's always my motto. I wouldn't be doing this if I was a little wuss who couldn't take some criticism. And if nobody's talking about you, you're probably not doing something right. Okay, favorite place I visited. Now, I visited a lot of places. I've been to Australia, New Zealand, I've been all over Europe. My favorite place I visited probably has to be the Virgin Islands, Virgin Gorda, going to the beach, having a little virgin pina colada, because y'all know I don't drink. Look at this skin. Don't drink alcohol. Have my virgin pina colada, sit on the beach, get some sun. Not too much sun because I'm pale like Casper, but I do go to the beach and enjoy myself. I love the Virgin Islands because you can get there and go to Miami. You fly down. It's nice. Everybody's friendly. It's like you're stepping back into a world gone by. Sometimes when you travel, like I was in Europe a few months ago, you travel, it's just you're pushing through crowds. Nobody's nice. Nobody has manners. I already lived in New York City for years. Then I studied abroad in London. I've been in big cities where you have to push through crowds of people. My idea of a vacation is to be around no people. To be around no people, silence, and laying out on a chaise lounge, drinking my virgin pina colada, and not reading a book, as we just found out, because I don't really read lots of books. Okay. This question. Do you think Prince Harry will ever divorce Meghan? I think yes. Okay, what, half of all couples end in divorces? I don't think it's, out of this realm of reality that Prince Harry and Meghan might get divorced, but I don't know. I think the chances of her leaving him are much higher. I think she would leave him in a second for like an Elon Musk or a real wealthy guy. I think Meghan Markle looks at Lauren Sanchez and thinks, it should have been me. That's what Meghan Markle thinks when she looks at Lauren Sanchez. So I do think there could be a divorce. I've heard that maybe some of the money is running out, as we've heard this Netflix deal is not being renewed in the way it was originally. This $100 million deal could be why. I know some of you in my comments think this is why Prince Harry is trying to reconcile with his father. He wants more money from the crown, from his father, from the trust. Who knows? But I do think a divorce could happen. I don't wish divorce upon anyone, of course not, but it could happen. I think Meghan Markle would leave him. I think it's probably tough being in that mansion with her, and there's not a lot going on. So who knows? We'll have to see what happens with Harry and Meghan. Do you guys think they're going to get divorced anytime soon? They're almost trauma bonded in a way. And they're sort of perfect for each other because they're both little hucksters and can just kind of push their lies. But who knows? Now, this last question. Someone said, what is the worst place you visited? Worst place I've been to has to be the friend zone. And that concludes this episode of Ask Link, this little mini Friday edition. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Laverne Cox? What do you think about this trans actress dating an NYPD MAGA guy? And it also sounds like this MAGA guy is single. Okay, sounds like he's single. So if you're in New York City, look out for a blonde-haired, blue-eyed MAGA NYPD officer because he might be on the prowl. You can have Laverne Cox's leftovers. And thank you so much for tuning in. Have an amazing weekend. You guys can always reach me on X, on Instagram, on social media. I live on my phone, unfortunately. Who knows how much radiation I take in on a daily basis. But have an amazing weekend. Kiss your loved ones. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.